So today we're going to be reacting to this video 34 with no wife, no kids, and no job. Let's get into it.
34, no job, no wife, no kids, still live with my mother, just got fired, turned 34 next week. Sounds pretty bad.
Well, when you phrase it like that, it is pretty shitty. I will say no job at 34 is a little bit rough. Living with family, I guess at 34 could be a bit rough. No wife, no kids in 2026 is very, very normal. This is not World War II where, you got married at 20 and then went off to war. Times have definitely changed. But, let's see what the guy has to say. He's probably saying that because he thought that by 34, those were going to be the case. You know what I mean? For me, I'm 25. If I'm not married at 34, personally, I think that's extremely normal. I wouldn't really be like second guessing myself if I got to 34 and I wasn't married with kids.
But I want to break it down for a second. Because if I'm 34 next week, well, technically I'm 33 right now. And if I just got fired today, then yesterday I just had a job. So really, it's not like I'm a jobless person. I just lost my job. And I don't have a
Happens to the best of us. I've lost some jobs in my life.
girlfriend, not because I can't get a girlfriend. It's because I don't really want a girlfriend. And I don't have kids because I don't really want kids. Why is that? I think in this world we tend to really allow people's opinions rule our world. We're always comparing ourselves to somebody else. He's got the Ferrari, he's got the Lamborghini, he has the Corvette, he has the Mustang, I have the Honda. He's got a wife, she's fat with 10 teeth. He's got a wife, slightly skinnier with more teeth. He's got a wife, she's gorgeous, but she takes all his money. He's got a model that cheats on him and is never home and divorces him and takes all his money. He's got a kid, has autism and is handicapped. He has a kid who gets a certain age and gets shot and killed. He has a kid who ends up being a good kid and ends up ruining their life to drugs. Think about it. We're at a point in society right now where I think you should just do whatever the fuck you want. And you shouldn't really give a fuck what people think. And I don't mean that in a way where you should just be careless and reckless and hurt people or be evil or sinister.
See, this feels a little bit interesting, right? And I could have read this wrong. I'm very open to the idea that I read this wrong, right? But the way he was talking in the video, in the beginning of the video, the tone he was using was kind of, I thought it was implied that him being 34, not married, no wife and kids was a bad thing. That was his situation, and he didn't like that, right? Now he's saying he's not proud of that fact and that society shouldn't judge him, but I don't think he thinks it's a bad thing because society's judging him. I think he himself knows what he's kind of capable of, and he knows that I could have these things, but I made some bad decisions along the way, and now I'm in this position at this age, So him saying society, are people in society on his ass about this? I could be wrong. I'm not 34, so maybe when I'm 34, I will have different results, but I don't really see people going up to 34-year-old men and scratching their head or judging them for not being married with kids, And, living with parents at 34, okay, I could see maybe society giving you some pushback, but the way he was talking in the beginning of the video, the tone he used made it seem like he didn't like living with his parents at that age because he just didn't like it for his own reasons, not because of society. But let's see.
No, I mean, like, you should kind of just do what you want to do and what makes you feel good and what you think is part of your purpose. And when things go in the opposite direction of what you planned, you kind of just let go of the thought of holding on to something that's not real or something that you can't control, and just let it go. Like for me, it was my birthday.
Yeah, that's one thing about life, guys, that I can tell you being 25, that in life, the plans you make, you have to be skeptical that they're going to go as planned. You have to be skeptical that things are going to go in planned. In life, you have to be skeptical that things are going to go as planned. Okay? Because let's say you make this goal. Maybe right now you're 20 years old and you're a carpenter. And you're saying, okay, I'm a carpenter at 20 years old, but by the time I turn 26, I'm going to own the biggest construction company in the state of Florida, right? Let's pretend that's like your goal, right? You say that as a 20-year-old carpenter, and it sounds good, but the reality is when you're trying to build that business, you want to build that construction company, you don't know what obstacles you're going to run into. You really have no clue what obstacles you're going to run into, right? So you made that prediction with very limited knowledge. You start doing it, and then you realize like, oh, I need to buy these trucks and it's a certain amount, or oh, I need to get these permits, and there's a lot of politics to getting the permits, so it's going to take me a long time to get this approved and that approved, right? And lo and behold, you're 26 years old and you're not where you thought you would be. You don't own a construction company, and you might still be that carpenter, the same carpenter you might be in the same position you were at 20, right? And then you start beating yourself up like, oh man, I failed. I wasn't as successful. I thought that at this point in life I'd be further ahead, right? But you made that decision, you made that prediction with very, very limited knowledge. You know what I mean? You can't beat yourself up because you didn't know something that you could have only learned with experience and grit. You know what I mean? Well, the logical thing to do would be like, okay, I spent 6 years trying to own the construction company. Here's what I know about building a construction company. Do I actually want to still do this? Or if I'm going to continue to do this, here's what I need to change and here's what I need to do differently. There really is no space for guilt or self-doubt or being ashamed of yourself. As long as you didn't quit, there's no reason to be ashamed of yourself, truthfully.
Right? I was going to go to New York. Well, I'm not going to New York. I was going to go up to Naked and Famous and buy salvaged denim. I'm not doing that now. I also ordered a front lip, Alibaba special, carbon fiber. I paid $200 down, and there's $200 more that I have to come up with.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. There are certain things you just don't put on payment plans, and a $400 lip for your car is not. It's not. You just don't do that. First off, you don't payment plans. These are things for like houses and cars or whatever, right? Really, depend. The cars. It just depends. Houses, yes, you buy a house on a mortgage. You know what I mean? Accessories for your car and shit. You shouldn't be putting these things on payment plans. And I feel like it's not even like a financial thing. It's just a sign of maturity that like you just don't do that.
I also ordered wheels. God, my nose. I ordered wheels. Alibaba wheels. Really nice wheels. HRE wheels. With a custom spec forged gloss black. $1,500. Can't beat that. Can't beat that. They're like, hey, give us half down and we're going to start production. I said, hey, wait till Friday. I got you. Well, I can't do that. I also have, I think all of us at this point looks maxed to an extent.
So he's kind of talking about, I guess, like the stuff he can't do now because he didn't have a job. But once again, I don't think this guy is like really trying to get no financial advice. You know what I mean? But If you if you had to wait till Friday to pay $200, you know what I mean? You really shouldn't have been buying that shit in the first place.
A little addicted to it. Can't tell right now. Well, I'm down in the dumps, so whatever. And I have a haircut for Friday. Still getting a haircut. I was gonna get my teeth done. I don't like my smile. So I was gonna do something about it. I was gonna go get veneers in Philadelphia. And some Botox, because look at my skin. I do this too much.
I was gonna say I knew this guy had to be from Philly because I know that accent when I hear it.
I don't want that to happen because I don't want to be a wrinkly fuck. 6 years from now, I'm 40. Oh, do I look like that? Like, how old do I look? Probably not that old. Like, people don't even believe me when I say I'm 33.
He does. He does not look very old at all. He definitely has that going for him. I'll try to lean into that.
And now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, shit, this just ruined my life. My neighbor's dog is going crazy. This ruined my life. Because I'm 34, I just got fired, I have no girlfriend, I have no kids. But take a second and fall back. Oh, and I live with my mother. But let's take a second and fall back and digest that. Not the quote unquote of what people say. Let's just, you and me right now. And the reason why I'm making this video is because it's therapeutic for me, but it's also for the person who is going through something really bad. Maybe you're in a worse situation than me. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're younger and what you think you got going on is hard. You don't realize that people like me have it harder and there's people that have it harder than me. So this is kind of just allowing you, to listen to me and kind of take away from what I'm trying to get at. And I don't know how to get at it. I don't know how to put this into a video. That's why I'm just raw dogging it, because it just happened today. I was supposed to go in at 9:30 and she called me an hour before my job. My boss was a cunt. Fuck you, bitch, if you're ever watching this. She fired me. I think it's laid off because we know we have a war going on right now.
I'll be honest, man. This guy is absolutely tripping. First off, there's this thing people always like fantasize about. It'll be like they'll work a job they hate, right? And maybe their boss gives them trouble or their coworker gives them trouble. And in their brain, they fantasize like, oh, my last day at this job, I'm going to tell my boss to go fuck themselves, or I'm going to tell that coworker to go fuck themselves, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And that stuff sounds good in your head. And 90% of people will think that in their head, but they won't do anything. On their last day at their job, when they finally quit it, they'll just say, hey, goodbye, have a good one, I appreciate working here, peace out, see you later, right? But if you were to actually do these things that you fantasize in your head, like telling your boss to go fuck themselves, it's so cringy. And what he just did right there, calling his boss a cunt at 34 years old, was very cringy. Now, sometimes you do feel that way, and it is valid, but I don't know, man. Is there like a male version of the ick?
Now, and diesel's in the $7, and I've been getting spam from all the managers saying only go to FedEx facilities, do not go get diesel anywhere else. So I ended up smacking the camera in like that in my truck because it kept going off and was messing up. But she made a whole fit about it and said that, you know, I'm not supposed to do that, and then the camera's angles off, and I don't know who put it the angle there in the first place, and then we seen you on your phone, like just made up some bullshit and canned me. This lady had a knife in my back and a smile on my face since I started. She was an absolute scumbag, and she fired me. Fired me a week before my birthday. A week before my 1 year with them, and they would have had to pay me a week's vacation. Makes sense why they fired me, right? Gas is getting expensive. We have 100 employees. We got to cut some people off. Who do we not like? Okay. But take a side note. This has happened to me 3 times in my life. This has happened 3 times in my life. When I went to get my CDL, I'm gonna give you a little story. When I went to get my CDL, I worked for Penske Rentals, and I was a CSR, and I would wash the trucks and prep them to get them rented out to somebody. This lighting looks horrible, by the way. Damn, my neighbor's dogs are going crazy. Put a muzzle on them. Anyway, so what happened is I was like, I'm gonna get a CDL because this job doesn't pay me shit, and I want to have a better life. So every day after work, I'd go in at 5 in the morning, I'd get off at 1:30, and I would force myself to go to the DMV and take a test. Well, after about 2-3 weeks, I passed all 3 tests, and I got my permit. Now, all my coworkers knew that I was doing this, and I was bragging, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna get a CDL and leave this shitty company. Well, somebody snitched. Something happened.
See, first off, this was your mistake. Why would you shouldn't, when you're at a job, don't go on and on about how shitty it is. And don't try to flex to your coworkers about how you're getting out of here, right? The first thing is just, it's just not a good look. And then you have to remember, a lot of people are very, very envious. You know, they get jealous. They don't like these things. Now, you might say, well, why are they jealous? They could go do what I did, right? But what you did required some sort of work ethic, and they just don't have it to go do it, or they're complacent. It could be for whatever reason they're not going to do it. But don't go to these 9-to-5s and just make people envious doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's very, very, very stupid, and you don't gain anything from doing that.
Happened. And the day I got it, the next day I went into work to tell everyone, I get pulled in the office and they say, we're terminating you because you post something on social media. They didn't know what I posted. They didn't have a real reason. They just fired me. But 2 months later, I got my CDL.
I mean, did you actually post some on social media? And if you did, why are you adding your coworkers?
So, right? Then I couldn't get a job. And I went through that struggle. Then I finally got a job at AmeriGas. Paid me pretty decent, $28 an hour. But I was getting a bunch of overtime. Problem was, it was super dangerous, super technical, and they were pieces of shit there. Very bad communicational skills. Very bad company to work for. Don't recommend AmeriGas. I do not.
Him naming these like companies by name is pretty crazy. You know what I mean? I would be pretty broad about it if I was making a venting video like this, but him just name dropping them is wild.
Me and my ex break up. I'm starting to talk to this new girl. She's an OnlyFans girl. She has great credit, like 800. And I have like $7,000 saved up, or $5,000, I can't remember. And I'm like, I'm trying to get a car because my Honda broke down. So that whole 6 months I worked there, I had to catch rides.
Ugh.
She says, well, what do you want? I said, I really want a Scat Pack. I get a Scat Pack. She signs for...
I think I know. Whoa. Hold on.
She says, well, what do you want? I said, I really want a Scat Pack. I get a Scat Pack. She signs for me. But my credit's so bad, they're like, we won't put you on it. We can't put your name on it. And I'm like, you can't put my name on it. She goes, well, I really like the car. As long as you're going to pay for it, I don't mind.
Ooh, no.
Are you sure? I said, I still don't think it's a good idea. She goes, I'm okay with it. They go, listen, don't even put any money down. Just take it home for the weekend and tell me how you feel. So the whole time I'm driving home feeling like Toretto. I'm like, so...
You're paying for a car that you bought this car for you, and you're making payments for it under another person's name. This is just common sense, man. You don't even need your parent to teach you this. There's some things in life you just gotta know, man. That's insane.
So happy.
So I haven't even watched this video yet, so I can already guess where this is going.
I'm like, this is the nicest car I've ever been in. This is, mind you, it was a 2023 Last Call Shaker Edition. It was wide body, big Brembos. Oh, it was such a pretty car. I miss that car still. I love my Mustang, but man, I still miss that car. Really cool fucking car. So much aura. Car had mad aura. Like my Mustang has aura, but I think truthfully that Scat had more aura. Jasmine's faster though, and I like Jasmine more though. Anyway, I get the car. Would you believe 2 days later, I get fired for posting a YouTube video that they didn't like? Now I'm starting to have a coincidence.
See, first off, I don't know, how does your job know about your YouTube channel? And then secondly, he must have like name dropped them in the video. Like, I wouldn't, if I'm working a job, I wouldn't go online and talk about the job while I'm working there. That would be what? What?
If I post things and get fired. This time I didn't, right? But and I tell the girl, you might believe that these motherfuckers fired me, but listen, I want you to know it's all good.
Playing victim.
I got that $7,000 or that $6,500 saved up, and that's enough to pay the next 6 months, and I get another job. Mind you, the shitty job that just hired me a month later. She's like, okay, babe. Calls me not even 6 hours later and is like, I was talking to my baby dad and a bunch of people, and you could run off with this car and not pay and blah, blah, blah. And this bitch was like, I'm going to call.
This sounds like a very, very messy situation. This guy got into a relationship, a serious relationship, because you had her, put out a payment plan on a car for you, and what you were paying for a car under her name. Meanwhile, she's got a whole baby daddy that's still in the picture that she's consulting for advice. This gets crazier and crazier as the story goes on, man. Shit, I'm not gonna lie. This dude's life is rough, but a lot of this is very self-inflicted. Shit.
All the fucking cops on you. So I had to suck up my pride after I just posted it on social media and give it back. I didn't give it back. I wasn't in my name, but I'm a loyal guy. We're fucking around. I got the money. Ripped it apart for me. So
I'm sorry, man, but there's some things you should have just known.
I'm stressed out. I get a job at shitty ass S&T 2 months later, a month later, but it took a while to get in there. And I remember being like, I don't even know if I can do this. This is so fucking hard. And my cunt ass boss was so rude to me. She would call me every day with the smirkiest attitude, and I shit you not, she'd be like, you didn't do this fast enough, and blah, blah, blah. And she said, and if you can't, then it's not gonna work out for us. And she would threaten me with job security every day. I used to be in that bitch almost crying because I was like, I need a job. I need to support my mom, and I'm gonna get through all of this. Ready? So I suck it up and I say, man, if I can just get good at hooking up fast enough, I think I'll be able to get through this job. So I started focusing on what am I doing wrong when I'm setting up my trailers, and why is it taking so long? Well, I got really good at it. I worked there in April. I think I started in April. Guess what? A couple weeks later, I bought a 2024 Mustang GT with the big Brembos 10.
See, this is retarded. I mean, this is stupid. I mean, you went and you couldn't afford the car. You're barely holding employment, and you're going out and you're buying a 2024 Mustang, brother. What are you doing? Mind you, he says he's 33, so this guy was like, he said 2024, so this guy was like 30 when this happened.
Speed 10R80 Jasmine, and guess what? I fucking love that car, and she is done up, and I'm not mad at all. So I got a good car out of it. Then I got in trouble with the law with that cool car. Shh, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole yet. One day we'll talk about it, not right now. So I had that in the back of my mind. And I went through a lot of relationships, a lot of trials and error, broke up with the girl I wasn't with. So we definitely wasn't having kids or getting married. I tried to make it work, shit just didn't work. Tried it with other people, that didn't work. I had girls lie and say I was abusive and all types of shit to not look like they're a 304 in the streets because they're just running around too much with other guys. I didn't know. Whatever.
That's like textbook breakup language. When girls break up with a guy, you'll hear the word manipulative, narcissist. They love the narcissist word. That's the one they really, really like to whip out. But when a relationship ends, the narcissist word is like the first thing to come out of a girl's mouth. It doesn't matter by what means the relationship ended. It doesn't matter if she broke up with the guy or the guy broke up with her. It really doesn't matter. But that narcissist word, they love whipping that word out, man.
Cool. Say whatever, bitch. Like, Everyone that knows me knows I don't do that, okay? And then I got put in this position where I just got fired today. And it stopped all of my progression. And the reason I live with my mom, it's not because I'm a loser. Right now I am. Or am I? I'm not a loser. I'm just putting this.
I'm good he has enough sense to at least know that he's not a loser, because the way he was talking about himself earlier and the way he was talking about his trials and tribulations were troubling, but uh, at least he's acknowledging that.
Situation where it's going to be me figuring out the next step, what God has for me. But when I was 24, when I was 18, my mom got married to my neighbor, Bob Swain.
Okay, remember, why are you mentioning these people by name? Why would you, what?
Good guy. He had a lot of issues, but was a good guy. Alcoholic. And when I was 24, he deleted himself. And my mom came home and seen that. Now, I was with a girl for 7 years at the time. And
I'm sorry to hear about that, man. That's tough as fuck.
me and her were going to get our own place. She also got pregnant by me. She ended up getting an abortion because she wasn't ready. Boo-hoo, the only girl that ever got pregnant by me did not decide to keep it. That kid be like 10 now. Pretty shitty, huh? So after that, I really did not want to get a girl pregnant again. And then my stepfather kills himself. And I was not able to leave my mom's side because I'm an only child. So the guilt of thinking of my mom at 63 now, living by herself with diabetic, going kind of blind, working a lot. As much as maybe sometimes she babies me still, I think I baby her a little bit too. And the thought of not being around my mom scares me because most of every girl I've ever dated wasn't loyal. And there was only one girl that was loyal. And I do miss her and I do regret it. I'm not going to say her name. And she's an amazing person, but through my trials and error, I made mistakes and I should have did different things, right? And I think every man makes mistakes. And what I'm trying to get at is like, you have two choices. You can live in this world and say, like, think how everyone else thinks. Like, if you don't make six figures, if you ain't 6 feet tall, if you ain't got over 6 inches, if you ain't got a nice car, if you don't live on your own, if you don't have nice clothes, if you don't have nice teeth, if you don't have this, then you're a loser. And it's like, no, you're not. Your circumstances suck. But that's not gonna last forever. So I'm making this video to kind of like laugh at it. Because it's like, am I gonna sit here and cry because I don't have a job now? Am I gonna sit here and hate my life because I have a court date? Am I going to sit here and hate my life because I don't have a girlfriend? Am I going to sit here and hate my life because I don't have a kid? Or am I going to look at my life and be grateful for what God has given me? I am over 6'3". I do have over 6 inches. I used to make over 6 figures. Well, used to make 6 figures. I do have a cool car. I do have a great mom. I do have awesome animals. And guess what? I have a long fucking time ahead of me. So do you. So do you.
See, I'm very happy that this is his mindset, because what he said is all very true. And those are the things you kind of have to meditate on to get through life and make changes in life. But I'm not going to lie, man. This guy, this dude, he seems like a chill dude. Like, I would love to sit down and like, I don't drink beer, but I'll make an exception. I would sit down and have a beer with this guy. You know what I mean? But some of these stories he's told in the past, they seem pretty crazy, guys, and they leave me kind of scratching my head damn near bald.
Don't give up. Because as soon as you give up, you're going to realize that, like, that's what the whole world has been trying to do. It's been trying to make you just hate life, not work too hard, party more, not love yourself enough, and kind of give up. And what I'm trying to do, and what I think everyone should do, is I think you should just get mad and start to laugh. It's like if somebody calls you ugly, there's two things you can do. You can cry about it. 3 things. You can punch them in the face, or you can cry about it or brush it off, or you can laugh it off. I think at this point in life, you just got to start laughing at it. You know, you got to kind of start laughing at this shit. Like, well, every time I've ever had issues in my life, I always thought it was the end of the world, and somehow God always came out of nowhere and made it better. Maybe it took a couple months, but it got better. And then when you're in that situation, you almost don't appreciate it as much as you wish you could, because for some reason, it's just how the way the world works. So now I'm kind of in this mindset where I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. That's my luck. Right when I'm about to get my wheels, get my carbon fiber.
But here's the thing. I agree with what he's saying, but I don't think he's acknowledging how much his own actions and poor thinking has led to this point, right? You're buying these cars, you don't have stable income. You're getting in these questionable relationships. You know what I mean? The sad reality is, and there was a time years ago where I realized this too, okay? Is it's like, okay, what, he's 33, 34. That means you graduated high school 16 years ago. Okay, 15 years ago. Basically 16 because he's damn near 34. What have you been doing over that 16 years? You know what I mean? If you're born and bred in the US, you're from out here, you got to try to figure something out. You know, like you got to kind of figure out what you want to do with your life in that 16-year span. Now, you don't have to have it all figured out. People switch careers all the time. People get interested in different things. People pursue different passions. They move different places. You know what I mean? But you can't be this indecisive and 34, and then constantly getting fired at jobs and saying my boss was a cunt. You know what I mean? It's just not a good look. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't be worried about society giving you shit for it. I mean, you yourself should be kind of skeptical of like, okay, maybe there's a common denominator here.
Get my tires, go to cruise week, lower the car, get my teeth done. It's like, no. My boss said, nah, you know what? You're not doing any of that. And I'm kind of like, nah, bitch, I think I still will do it. Maybe it might take a little bit. Maybe you won't help me get there. Maybe I'll have to do something else. But if you think I'm not going to do it because you were controlling me, well, nah, bitch. And that goes.
Does your boss know about your personal life like this? I'm like, I don't know. Are you talking just metaphorically? I'm kind of like, what? You know what I mean? Your boss doesn't give a fuck about your teeth, okay? Look, the company's there to make money. They bring you in to help them make some money. You know, you use your services to make them money and they give you a cut of it, okay? It's really that simple. Your boss is not stopping you from getting your teeth. They pay you money. You do whatever the hell you want with it. I mean, depending on how much you save, I don't know what his expenses are. And once again, I don't know this dude, okay? I'm literally just watching this 30-minute video that he posted on YouTube, right? I'm watching a 30-minute video that he posted on YouTube. I don't know the guy. Once again, I said, he seems like a chill dude. I would love to talk to him. Come on, man. Like,
for everyone. Whatever circumstance is trying to hold you back, whatever person is trying to hold you back, fuck them. Laugh at this shit. Go to work and don't be fucking mad if you work 50 hours, 60 hours a week. Laugh at it. When you wake up and you're tired, laugh at it. When you don't have the things you want, laugh at it. Because eventually you're going to realize that none of this shit matters anyway. And you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to rot away one day. So does it fucking matter what he or she or him or her think? No. It only matters what the fuck you think. So be delusional. Be so delusional that you don't even fucking care anymore. Be so delusional that you know that you're the shit and your life's good, even if you work at fucking McDonald's and you take a bus to work. Who gives a fuck? I'd rather work at McDonald's and ride a fucking electric scooter to work every day than be in a fucking Ferrari, fucking hot chicks, sad and miserable. Because what kind of life is that anyway? If you can love your life and love everything you got going and you don't have anything going in the right direction you want, that's the guy that is going to get what he wants, and that's the guy who's going to be successful. Success to me is loving yourself and loving life and being grateful and paying homage to the Lord and being thankful for everything you have been given. That is successful. It's not money. It's not the Rolex. It's not the fast car. It's not the bad bitch. It's not the kids. It's none of that.
See, maybe, and everybody's definition of success is different. To me, success is getting what you want in life. Success is wanting something, and that's different for every different person, and then getting what you want. That's what success is to me personally. You know, to say, oh, success is just happiness, success is just a family, it's different, man.
All of that is the benefit of life. That's the beautiful parts of life. But the best part of life is just loving that you're even alive. Because what the hell is keeping you here? It ain't your looks. Ain't you looks, Maxim. It ain't your carbon fiber lip kit, bro. It ain't your muscles. It ain't your aura. What is it? I don't know. But when everything is about to finally go in the direction I need, and I only needed like 8 weeks, and for it to smack me in the head, I'm like, okay.
See, but that's the thing. It's like, no. Because here's the thing. He said earlier he used to make 6 figures, right? If you're making that type of money, you need to stack up 40, 50K, okay? Then you could start, buying these expendable items and whatnot. You know what I mean? You should have learned your lesson from the situation where you were dating the OnlyFans girl and she got to keep that car you were making payments on. You should have learned from that situation. You know what I mean? Stop buying these things before you got the money. You know what I mean? If you saved up the money and then you got fired from your job, you could still go get the teeth done like you said earlier. You know what I mean? The job didn't have to stop you from getting your teeth done. Once again, these are not, hard to understand concepts. These are some things you just got to know, man.
I get it. You got something special coming for me. You got something special coming for me. I don't know what, but I'm excited. So thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for signing me up for some bullshit. Thank you for signing me up for something very special disguised as bullshit. Because that's what it is. That's what it is, and that's what you need to understand. It's bullshit. So, no, I'm not a 34-year-old who lives with his mom, who doesn't have a kid, who just got fired, and who is not married. I'm a guy who's about to have 34 years of life on this planet, who's about to change to a different job, who's going to find a better girl and eventually have a beautiful kid. And this is just the journey. So
see, there we go. This is the mindset you got to meditate upon in life, right? There's really, in life, you analyze, you do look back somewhat every now and again. You analyze what worked, what didn't work. You store that data in your brain and you go forward. The big thing is you don't get emotional about it, okay? People get very emotional about the past. The past is the past, my brother. You gonna sit down, worry about the past and suffer, or are you gonna focus on the future and enjoy yourself, right? Obviously, the answer is you should, focus on having a greater future and enjoying the now and the good things now, right? That's like the logical thing to do. Unfortunately, humans can, intrinsically be very negative. I don't know if there's any actual science that proves that. It's just what I've observed in my 25 years on this planet. You know what I mean? So people won't always do what's logical, which would be focus on the present and doing what this guy's talking about, unfortunately.
whatever you're going through, it's just a story. It's just a little scribble in the chapter. And you're going to overlook this shit in a couple months and not even think about it again. So are you really mad or are you grateful? At this point, I think it's time to just be grateful. So I'm going to get those fucking teeth done. I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to go April 17th. I'm going to take the little bitty bits of my check and I'm going to say, listen, max that credit card out and I'm going to do it anyway. Well, Preston,
I'm not gonna lie, you need to stop digging yourself in a hole. Like, it's like you say some good shit, and then you fuck it up because you say some very, very questionable shit. You say like, oh, I'm gonna be positive, and then you being positive doesn't mean go do some more, making yet another bad financial decision. You know what I mean? Be positive and say something like, all right, I'm gonna stack my paper for a few months, then I'm gonna go get these teeth done. You know what I mean? Don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna have a great future, so I'm gonna max out a credit card on something that doesn't bring a financial ROI."
That's not a good idea. What about security?
Well, yeah.
What about your future? Fuck it. Go.
No, this is what got you into this bad situation in the first place. No, no, no. Stop saying fuck it. Stop saying fuck it. You physically cannot afford to keep saying fuck it. Stop doing that.
Guns blazing with everything in your life. Don't worry about a fucking a fucking something that can happen, a repercussion. Don't worry about it, because
You sure about that?
most of the time,
Here's the thing. You need to worry about the repercussions in life, right? But here's what people get wrong about repercussions. Yes, in life you need to worry about the repercussions, but the thing is people think that the repercussions are worse than they actually are. Let's pretend you're on the fence about quitting your job. Mind you, your job might not even be that great, and starting a business. You might say, okay, if the business goes really, really well, I'll become very wealthy, I'll be able to buy my own house, etc., etc., life will be good. If it fails, I'll end up back in my mom's house, right? And people will picture that and they'll think, oh, well, I'm not going to risk starting the business because if it fails, I'll end up back in my mom's house. But if I stay working at this job, I can afford my own apartment or whatever. You see what I'm saying here, guys? But the thing is, you starting the business and the business failing, and then you have to go back to your mom's house, that really is not a bad repercussion for the most part, okay? Okay, you end up back at your mom's house, you have to hustle and save money for 6 months, then you could go, you could get out and do something else and try again. That is not that bad of a repercussion. You need to worry about repercussions in life, but the problem is people think that the repercussions of them failing is worse than it actually is.
you will never jump because you're too scared of the fall. But you gotta just get after it. You kind of have to feel like, fuck it.
Yes, my brother, but the thing is, you're not gaining anything by maxing out credit cards when you're unemployed. This is the last. If you have no income coming in, why are you maxing out credit cards?
Whatever. I'm gonna fucking fall. But if I never jump, I'll never know. And if I never know how the fuck it's gonna feel, did I even really get to live this fucking life? So I'm gonna figure it the fuck out. If that means that I'm living off rice and chicken for the next 3 months, but I got my teeth done and I got my wheels done, I'm good. If that means I can't do any of that and I'm still living off rice and chicken, I'll figure it the fuck out. Nothing's gonna stop me. I'm gonna do this. And nothing's gonna stop you either. The only thing that's stopping you is you. And allowing people to dictate your money or your happiness is the thing that's always gonna cripple you. So pick up a camera, make some content. Pick up a weight and start lifting. Go to church and start volunteering. Buy a car and go to car meets. Get a camera and go film. I got a brand new camera. I've been so busy, I haven't even got to use it. Old Preston would have killed to have a Sony A7 IV with an 85mm G Master lens. A $6,000 setup, and I've shot on it twice. That's fucking sinister. That's not good.
I too am very guilty of owning an expensive camera and never using it. I have a camera that I got when I used to DJ. I opened for 2 Chainz once, and I bought the camera and I vlogged me opening for 2 Chainz, and that camera has collected dust ever since. But this guy's got me motivated. I'm gonna whip out that camera.
But I've been so busy. I've been working, and I've been like, okay, well, I work from 9 o'clock at night to about 7 in the morning, and I gotta sleep until about 3 to at least get 6 hours. And then I'll go to the gym, and I'll do this and I'll do that, and I just kept going down that path of, I'm never gonna have enough time. Well, I can do this week, and then I fuck up, and now I'm just starting to look at it like, listen, man, that job fired you because you were better than that fucking job. That girl broke up with you or left your ass because you're better than her. You had an abortion. You're gonna have a better kid. Sorry. Sorry, bud. Better things are coming for you, so shut the fuck up. Don't take this shit serious. Laugh it off. go make some money. If I got to DoorDash every day and be on my own, you know, making YouTube videos for you, cool. Guess what? I'll be back with another job. I'll be doing it again. And I'll never forget where I came from. And I'm going to still do it. Now I'm more inspired. Now I'm like, I'm going to get another job and I'm going to get another job. I'm going to make more than I made before. And I'm going to figure out how I can still work out, how I can still look smacks, how I can still take photos, still make YouTube content. I'm going to do it all.
See, if this guy does what he's talking about, he could stay on it for like 6 months, 9 months, a year. His life will look very different and he'll be singing a very, very different tune, man. So I hope that, you know, I hope he can keep these kind of thoughts in his head. It's just sometimes when we run into obstacles in life, people will revert back to their own old negative ways, you know, and you really just kind of have to have the mental fortitude to really, you know, truly change mentally and, you know, meditate on these things, even in the hard times that he's talking about.
And I'm not gonna fucking give a fuck anymore if I'm tired or somebody doesn't like me, or I'm just gonna be that guy. Because at the end of the day, what is stopping me from doing it? Myself. If I never jump, I never know if I fall. And maybe I fall and hit my head, but I'm not a failure, you know? I might have failed for a second, but I'm not a failure. I just failed. I'm learning, I'm trying. I'm gonna get better. You know, things take time. You know, things take time, guys. And sometimes it gets really hard to do that. Sometimes it gets really hard to understand it because we're like this, bat, 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 bat. We want it so fast. We need it now. I need it now. Oh my God, that's me. I'm like, I gotta get jacked now. Oh my God, I gotta have wheels now. Oh, I need my teeth done now. Oh, I want to get a new hairstyle. Oh, ugh. I need a tattoo. Gotta get it now. Oh, gotta get it now. Can't wait a month. But things take time. Takes time to find that perfect girl. Takes time to make the kid. Takes time to get the good job. Takes time to do everything. Don't rush it. Just learn to love the process of everything. And be unapologetic yourself. Like, don't give a fuck. Don't be sorry. Live your life. Live your truth. Do what the fuck you want. Be a good person. Have good morals. Chase your dreams. Work your fucking ass off. And realize that time is going by so fast. 40 hours a week ain't gonna cut it. 50 hours a week ain't gonna cut it. It's gonna be 100 hours a week is gonna be the minimum. You gotta go after it. You gotta do everything. There's no excuse why you don't eat healthy. There's no excuse why you don't quit smoking and drinking. There's no excuse why you don't.
All right, this guy is kind of saying the same point in circles and circles and circles. So I think that wraps it up.